Anniversary celebration of the ruling party, the ANC, and this time around celebrations are happening in Kimberley, and we've got a team that has been out there throughout the morning, and they'll be bringing us rolling updates in as far as the celebrations go. Earlier on we spoke to Mangoba, who brought us just what could be expected in the January 8th statement. For now though, we do go to Aldrin Samkele, who is there in Kimberley. Aldrin, won't you bring us up to speed in as far as the developments that are taking place and all the celebrations that are meant to be happening for today?
A very good morning and welcome to the special broadcast of the ANC's 108th anniversary celebration that is taking place here at Tafel Lager Stadium in Kimberley in the Northern Cape. My name is Aldrin Samkele. I will be your host for the next 3 hours. I'm not alone. I am with my other colleagues. That is the SABC's political team, including Natasha Piri, Samkele Maseko, as well as the SABC's political acting editor, that is Mzwandile Mbeche. We'll be bringing you all you have to know about this particular anniversary that is taking place and what's been happening throughout the week as well, because the build-up to today's celebration as well is very important. But there's no doubt whatsoever that although this celebration is taking place today, many people will be asking themselves, what exactly is it that the ANC is celebrating, considering that we are facing load shedding currently, and of course that breaking news that we heard last night around the resignation of the chairperson of Eskom, Jabu Mabuza. There's no doubt whatsoever that that will be one of the issues that could just overshadow this particular anniversary that will be taking place. The president of the ANC is expected to deliver the keynote address, and that is the ANC NEC statement, that is the January 8th statement right here, and that address is expected round about 11 o'clock. It is a rather short program, starting round about 9:45, ending round about 12 o'clock. But do not despair, we will be bringing you all you have to know about this particular anniversary and these particular celebrations. We'll be speaking to various delegates, including senior members of the ANC. In a few moments, I'll be speaking to the chairperson of the ANC in the Northern Cape, who's also the Premier, Zamani Saul, about the province, and also what members, or rather residents of the province, have told the leadership of the ANC around poor service delivery in this particular province. So we will be speaking to him in a short while. We'll also be speaking to residents of this area, as well as the ordinary rank and file of the ANC, that although some people are saying that the ANC has failed in service delivery, what is it about the ANC that still makes the ANC, that makes them feel that the ANC is still a home for them? At the moment, let's quickly go to Natasha Piri, and Natasha will then throw to my colleague Samkele Maseko, and then we'll come back and have that chat with Zamani Saul. Natasha, who are you standing with?
Well, a very good morning to you, and of course to our SABC viewers, Aldrin. I'm actually standing behind the Tafel Lager Stadium here in Kimberley, and of course this is where VIP guests are actually expected, just to walk past me. I've already seen some international guests coming through, and of course we all know that the Prime Minister of Ethiopia will be also amongst those international guests. Of course, NEC members, business people, leaders of society, the religious sector, but I'm actually joined by NEC member and Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's just engage him on his expectations. Quite an eventful week for the ANC, celebrating yet another year, 108 years old, the oldest, some would say the largest liberation movement on the African continent. But quite an interesting contrast. While the ANC was celebrating its birthday, South Africans really had nothing to celebrate. We heard the news of load shedding yet again. There's been utterances made by the Deputy President of the ANC, David Didi Mabuza, saying that the president was misled. Yesterday we saw the chairperson of Eskom, Jabu Mabuza, resigning. I mean, what is the way forward in this?
Well, I'm sure we are tackling the challenges, and the president last night clarified the issue to say that Ntate Mabuza resigned because the expectations that they had as ESCOM were not met. So he took political or responsibility, became accountable, and then set a very good example of what the leaders should do if they can fulfill what they promised.
You know, I like what you say towards the end, that he was accountable towards his actions. We've been hearing various unions like your COSATU, like your SAFTU, saying that the rest of the ESCOM board, including, I beg your pardon, Pravin Gordhan, the Public Enterprises Minister, should actually step down. Are you of the view?
It's not for me to prescribe how people should respond to situations such as this.
But you just said that people should be held accountable.
No, I'm applauding the steps that Comrade Jabu took. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Ntatengwako not really giving us much there, but thank you so much for your time. Of course, we will bring you more guests and more NEC members. Let me just cross to my colleague, Samkele Maseko.
We are here with the members and supporters of the African National Congress. Before we get to these members, I'm just going to ask my colleague to show you the stage of where the NEC is currently on stage right now. They are dancing to a song of their longest serving president over the most difficult time of the governing party now during that transition period of apartheid going into the 1994 elections led by Oliver Reginald Tambo to that 1991 conference of the ANC that took place at the Durban University, at the Westville University, UKZN. We are now going to come through and show you the visuals of the ANC members who are gathered here at the stadium, who are singing to songs of this movement that is going through a tumultuous time at this point in time, where they don't know whether the direction of their party, which is seemingly divided and is facing a tussle between its president Cyril Ramaphosa and those who are seemingly part of the so-called fight back within the African National Congress. I'm going to ask these particular supporters why they deemed fit to come and celebrate the life and times of the African National Congress celebrating its 108th anniversary. Okay, so why did you deem it fit to come and celebrate the life and times of the ANC?
I think, according to me, I owe it to them, to our heroes, Abo Nelson Mandela, Abo Oliver Tambo, because of those are the people who have fought for this freedom. That's why I'm celebrating this freedom that the ANC has given us. So it is very much important that we celebrate where we come from, because this is just a movement, but it's a big movement, and it reminds us of the times where our heroes have fought for us. So,
what is there to celebrate when there is load shedding, when the economy of this country is in the doldrums, when there is seemingly a bleak future for many of those supporters of the ANC and members who are gathered here?
There are so many things to celebrate. We didn't have, before, during the apartheid time, we didn't have freedom. Firstly, we didn't have grants. We didn't have so many things. Gradually, we will go there. We admit that we are not doing enough, but we believe that the ANC is going there, and we will overcome. Our children, they are going to benefit from this. Because if we can say that there is nothing to celebrate, we'll be lying. There's more to celebrate.
Eldrin, that is Koketso, an ANC member. They are gathered here saying there is a lot to celebrate. They may be going through difficult times as an organization. The country may be going through a tumultuous time with its economy in the doldrums, with ESCOM in shambles, with load shedding at this point in time. With the resignation of Jabu Mabuza, after that question we as the SABC posed to the Deputy President on whether the President was misled by the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, by the ESCOM board on the issue of load shedding, saying there would be no load shedding by the 13th of January this year, but that wasn't to be. Load shedding kicked in as the grid is still constrained and ESCOM still faces issues of maintenance. But more importantly, it's seemingly looking like the Deputy President, David Mabuza, is taking over the issue of rescuing the ESCOM and putting it into another different trajectory. Back to you, Eldrin.
Well, actually, on that particular point, Samkele, let me ask that question to the chairperson of the ANC here in the province, Zamani Saul. Thank you so much for joining us. Samkele speaking to ANC members right now, saying that despite the challenges that the party is currently facing, there is a lot to celebrate. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that is correct. There's quite a lot for South Africans to celebrate. The African National Congress is the living heritage of all South Africans, not only its members, but all South Africans. So there's so much to celebrate, the strides that we managed to make in the past, and what we continue to do to improve the quality of lives of the people of South Africa.
Yeah.
So the ANC is still relevant today as it was 108 years back.
Yeah. But one of the issues that people would, for instance, raise is that the issue around unemployment rate currently standing at around 29.1% nationally, and even in this province as well, unemployment rate is quite high, and this is something that has been raised with the officials of the ANC as well.
Yes, we are the first to accept that we've got high levels of unemployment in South Africa, and concomitant to that is high levels of poverty, because those who are unemployed are likely to be poor. But the African National Congress have introduced programs to ensure that we mitigate the impact of poverty through an extensive social network program. And there are concrete programs and concrete initiatives by the President and the different provincial governments to ensure that we start to ignite growth in the economy to create a much-needed job.
Speaking about alleviating poverty, one thing that the ANC has mentioned even in its policy documents heading into the policy conference is how there is this growing division between the rich and the poor, especially amongst the black communities as well.
Yes, that's one of the major concerns that we have. Income inequality, not only income inequality, but asset inequality as well.
Yeah.
If you come to the province like the Northern Cape, 93% of the population of the Northern Cape is blacks, and only 7% is white. And the 7% which is white own about 85% of the land here, and the 93% black own about 13% of the land. Those are the colonial ownership patterns that we must change.
Yeah.
That is the reason why
how do you change it?
That is the reason why there is renewed energy, renewed focus on ensuring that we strengthen our land redistribution program through expropriation of land without compensation.
But how do you then allocate the land? You can expropriate the land, but even the allocation of the land, that's another question that hasn't been answered.
In the expropriation of land, we look at different ownership regimes. We'll have private ownership of land, and we'll have state ownership of land, and we'll also have corporate ownership of land. So as soon as the state expropriates land for reasons of ensuring that we address asset inequality in this country, it will have them to look at those different regimes. But in terms of our own understanding of expropriation of land without compensation, is to ensure that we strengthen all three regimes, which is state ownership. The state must have sizable tracts of land which the state owns, private ownership as well, and ownership through different cooperatives.
Let's quickly speak about the social responsibilities that mining companies have, and some mining companies operating in this province as well. People are complaining, saying that although there are the social responsibilities that are attached to the mining licenses of companies, companies are not adhering to what's expected of them in terms of their licenses, and government is failing to hold them accountable.
One of the strengths of the Northern Cape is our mineral endowment. And we firmly believe that mining houses in the province can do much better. If you go to the mining houses in the province, all of them have got certain programs that seek to ensure that they uplift communities. But we firmly believe, as the ANC and the provincial government, that there is much more that they can do in order to ensure that we strengthen the skills base.
How do you make sure that they do that?
We strengthen the skills base in the province.
How do you make sure that they do that?
And we create more job opportunities.
How do you make sure that they do that?
We've already started the process of engagement with mining houses. I had a meeting with all mining executives. I had visited to almost all the mines in the Northern Cape. And we've got only one gospel, and that gospel is to ensure that we maximize the impact of the mining economy in the province.
When they fail,
and there is generally commitment to those goals.
When they fail, will you push for them to be held accountable, for their licenses to be suspended?
No, definitely we'll have to do that. But let me tell you, it might surprise you, is that generally there is overwhelming commitment to the mining houses to to work with the provincial government to enable us to address some of the socio-economic challenges we encounter in the province.
Okay. In conclusion, let's quickly speak about the challenges since you've taken over as chairperson of the ANC in this province and also now premier of the province. What are some of the loopholes and some of the pitfalls that you think that the ANC has failed to address, and maybe areas that you say that this is where the ANC should strengthen its power?
Now, Jack, I think the starting point in responding to that question is the fact that the ANC in the province is rock solid. ANC national is rock solid. But there will always be challenges around building and strengthening the African National Congress. So I don't want us to give precedence to those challenges. But all the years since its inception, the movement has had challenges, and at all times it has been blessed with leadership, with capacity to address those challenges with foresight, putting the self-interest of the African National Congress first, putting the interest of the people of this country first. So currently there are challenges, as there were challenges in 1912 when the ANC was formed. There are challenges today, as there were challenges in 1950. So currently we've got a leadership which actually shows all the necessary attributes and commitment to ensure that we continue to strengthen the African National Congress, we continue to build unity within the ranks of the ANC.
What are those challenges currently?
It's the challenges of disunity. It's a challenge of degeneration in terms of our ideological orientation, and it's challenges of ill-discipline, which are illnesses of all political parties.
So that it can't be true that the ANC is rock solid. It can't be true that the ANC is rock solid when we speak about this unity.
Ill-discipline, factionalism, ideological degeneration, all those are pathologies of any modern political party. I want you to give me one political party in the world which is not confronted by those challenges. But by being confronted by those challenges does not necessarily mean we cease to exist as an organization. ANC is still there, still the hope of the people of South Africa, and it is rock solid. If the National Executive Committee takes a decision today to dissolve the PEC of the Northern Cape, it will be dissolved. If this PEC takes a decision today that will dissolve the region here in Francis Bart, it will be dissolved today. In terms of the organizational integrity, the ANC is rock solid. There are challenges that we confront like any other organization. And we are busy addressing those challenges.
Okay, thank you so much, Zamani Saul, the chairperson of the ANC here in the province, insisting that the ANC is rock solid. When the PAC takes a decision, that decision would be implemented, but he would agree that the last time that the PEC took a decision, for instance, to recall the previous premier, that decision was not implemented. Natasha, who are you standing by with?
Very much, Elgin. We still continue with our coverage here outside the stadium, of course, close to the VIP entrance. And I'm actually joined by a veteran of the ANC, tried and tested, possibly veteran of the ANC, and that the Reverend Frank Chikane. Thank you so much for joining us at the ANC. Well, one could say it's quite a momentous and auspicious occasion for the ANC. But Ntate Chikane, is there something to celebrate?
Well, you know, if you have a bad day, you always celebrate. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. But the challenges for the country are great, and the leadership that is here is supposed to actually address itself to those challenges. And we hope that the statement that's going to be made today will actually relate to those challenges that people are facing. I think 108 years, it's enough for anybody to be matured enough to can deal with the challenges of individuals who are making your life difficult. I mean, it's not difficult, it should be easy. And those who resist change do not belong here. And those who resist serving the people of the country do not belong here. And the sooner people understand that, the better. You can't be in positions where you don't serve the people and serve yourself.
Dr. Chikade, the ANC was once known as a massive liberation movement that had the interests of the people at heart. 26 years after democracy, after the ANC was quite instrumental to ensure that, the people of South Africa are free, what went wrong?
Well, I was there at the beginning. We worked very hard to change this country. And indeed, there are lots of changes that happened. But there's still lots more to do because the damage was so deep. And what has happened is that people came who were not of the same stock, which was committed to changing people's life, because that's what people died for, that's what people went to prison for, that's what people sacrificed for. But there is another generation that has come, which also comes from the generation we come from, who have decided the best way to serve the nation is to serve themselves. And I think that should be stopped. And I don't see why it can be stopped. I mean, look at how large this organization is. Look at how Kimberley has been taken over. I mean, nobody else can do what they are doing. Why is it impossible? No, we just have to stop it. And if the leaders don't stop it, the members must do so. If the members can't, the nation will do so.
Natachika, you speak about the bad apples within the ANC. Last year at the January 8th statement in Durban, the president had focused and spoke a lot that, it's time that the ANC rid not only society, not only the private sector and public sector of corruption, but corruption within the ranks of the ANC. People seem to say, or people are of the view that, this is a rhetoric that you speak over and over and over again, but yet you are within the midst of those who are deemed as corrupt within the ANC. How then do you actually solve this problem?
Well, I'm happy that programs have been developed in the last year or 18 months. There are commissions that are dealing with each one of these challenges. They had to be.
But will those commissions actually hold people accountable? We've been seeing commissions over and over and over.
You needed to clean the police force. You needed to clean the National Prosecution Authority. The capture was so deep that you couldn't actually send a prisoner to jail. I think the country should be ready now with the NPA being what it is and the police beginning to do their work, that those who are criminals must just go to jail. There's no reason. Actually, we should make it clear to them that they can't do the Samson thing to us and pull the pillars on us and the whole country goes. We, the people of this country, must make sure that none of the leaders do that to us, and it's going to happen soon, that they will be stopped. I think this is not going to last for long. The people of South Africa are not foolish. And if the leaders fail, as I say, if the members fail, the branches, the people of South Africa will stop this, and we will make sure that people who are criminals go to jail. They shouldn't bring us down with them.
Thank you so much, and of course we will catch up with you later on. Once again, thanks for your time, Reverend Chikane. So a very optimistic Reverend Chikane there, saying and imploring the people of South Africa to actually hold leadership accountable. Back to you, Elgin.
Well, thank you so much, Natasha Piri there, speaking to Frank Chikane, the former DG in the presidency. And let me introduce